All right, and let's go ahead and get started. Howdy, howdy, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sharkinbear, and welcome to the channel where today we're going to be checking out another game in the survival craft genre. That is, of course, again, because we are celebrating the Open World Survival Craft Fest that's happening on Steam currently, where they're showcasing a lot of open world survival crafting games that are out and ones that are upcoming. So the one we're celebrating or checking out today is Astrometica. This is a demo that is currently live over on Steam, and this is actually available before the Open World Survival Craft Fest thing started. So what is Astrometica? Well, from what I gathered, this is more or less like Space Subnautica. So basically, you're left to your own devices, you have your own little habitat at the beginning, and then you're meant to go and forage out into the areas of space around you for resources, minerals, and all that sort of jazz in order to craft for yourself equipment that'll allow you to survive further and deeper exploration of space. And then also have to brave, the dangers out in space, because there are like creatures and stuff like that. I don't think it's like heavy combat focused, so it's definitely kind of like in the Subnautica wheelhouse where there are dangers, but as long as you are keenly aware of where they're at, you can try to mitigate any sort of harm that might come your way. So we're gonna check this out for a couple of minutes here. So if you like the content and you need to see more games like Astrometica here on the channel, make sure you're liking and subscribing, and comment down below. Let me know what you think of the game, and if you want to check it out for yourself, I'll have a link down in the description so you can go ahead and check out the Steam page as well as wishlist it if you like the content. So let's go ahead and jump into it. I've already done a fair bit of stuff in there. It seems that I had a 40-minute session there, but I'm gonna go ahead and delete and start over again, because I will say that the early parts of this game are very, I will say, kind of difficult. One of the other games that this kind of reminds me of is Breathedge, whereas Breathedge is more of like a comedy game. This one is clearly not a comedy game, and much more of like a space exploration game without the comedy in it. That is to say that one of the things that I think Breathedge does really well is the comedy. The other thing that I don't think it does very well is kind of showcase what you're supposed to be doing as far as the moment-to-moment gameplay there. Breathedge is a very hard game to start out with. Like, I think I probably started Breathedge I don't know, 3 or 4 times before I actually made any actual progress, because I had no clue what it is I was doing. So by default, the game tells you that we have 4 quests right now. The first steps here is space, and let me tell you, right off the bat, I will say that I do enjoy the skybox, because it looks like there's a whole bunch of stuff happening in and around our environment. As you'll notice right away, we are basically surrounded in a whole bunch of space debris here, and we basically have a lot of options here. We can go around and we can collect resources like copper, iron, ice, and I think there might be another one, organics. I believe that's what these are. Is that what this is? Yeah, organic. And as you can tell right there at the bottom of our screen, we do have oxygen that we have to concern ourselves with about, but we can come back into our little hab module here, and we can then instead choose to basically get our air and go back out. So we're going to be basically going in and out of our hab as necessary in order to get oxygen, a la stuff like what Subnautica does, and Breathedge and all that sort of jazz. We have to worry about our health, thirst, hunger, and oxygen. As you can tell there at the bottom of the screen, we can turn the ice in around us into water. We can turn the organics into food, and we use copper and iron essentially to help us create our different modules that we need. So I'm gonna go ahead and collect a whole bunch of the iron and copper around here, so that we can go ahead and craft the first couple of things. So in order to craft anything, you just come over here to your fabricator. We'll go ahead and click on this and interact. And if we look at our equipment, we see that we have a slew of things to get. So in order to make our oxygen capsule, looks like we'll also need quartz. So I'm gonna go back out here and find some quartz. I did forget that was one of the other elements that's floating around. I'll go ahead and grab a couple since we have 2 right here. And then we'll go ahead and head on back, and then I'll show you how to create copper wire. So once we're back in the module, we'll go ahead and click on this. We'll go on to resources, and it shows that we need exactly 1 iron and 1 copper to craft a copper wire. Was it 1? It was 2 of them. All right, so we'll go ahead and do that. We'll come over here, and then we'll go ahead and click on oxygen capsule. We now have it in our menu. We can go ahead and click it, and we automatically can equip it right there. And now our essentially oxygen supply lasts a little bit longer. So the other things that we can do are make a jetpack, which we'll go ahead and do right now. Looks like we need some iron, we need some copper wire and some coal. Let's see how many we can create of this. All right, so we need 2 more pieces of coal, so we'll go ahead and go out here, and our oxygen now lasts for a bit longer. Coal is going to be like a very dark black looking color of mineral, so it should stick out a little bit more the other pieces. As a matter of fact, I think I see a couple pieces to our right here, floating around, this little floating coal debris. And it looks like we got the blueprint for the power cell, so that's good. I think we got that because we picked up some coal, so I'm gonna make sure we can pick up some more. And I'm trying to see what else we have around here. Go ahead and grab this iron. This iron. Anytime we see any iron and coal, we're definitely going to want to pick up that as well as the copper. I'm going to go ahead and pick up this one right here as well. And we should be able to go ahead and head back. That will give us, I believe, what we need for the jetpack. I do believe. So click on that, and there you go. Jetpack is made. Now we can go ahead and start looking at making ourselves the mining tool, perhaps. Yeah, what is this? Battery and electronic parts. So electronic parts comes from copper wire and iron. Nice. And it looks like we need another copper wire here to make a battery. Equipment and mining tool. There we go. Now we can take those big rocks that are floating everywhere, and we can now basically break them down and collect resources off of those. So we have our mining tool on our number 1 spot. It does run off of battery charges, similar to how Subnautica does their gear as well, so that's something to keep in mind. And then our last thing we're going to be looking to do is create ourselves some electronic parts, as well as collect some silver. Silver is a little rare in this area, but we can go ahead and find some. But first things first, we need to go ahead and see if we could find some objectives on the map, places to go. So we go ahead and over here, we can see that we have a terminal right here. We can read some of these memos, essentially, that someone left us. And that is going to mark some destinations on our map that will allow us to essentially more or less find some deep exploration areas. While we're here, I am going to go ahead and point out for those of you who are looking perhaps for some tips as where to go for Astrometica as far as finding resources. Silver is a kind of a rare resource, like immediately around your base. We can go a little bit further to find it. This green stuff, as far as I can tell, is not harmful to us at all. So if we go inside this asteroid, we'll actually find sources of silver in here. So I know there's at least one. And I do believe we might have a gold resource right around the corner here. We can go ahead and grab this. There we go. And that will also give us the blueprints for upgrade station as well as smelter. Now we do need 2 silver in order to do anything as far as making a bigger backpack. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to venture to the next area, which is marked there, right there. 180 something meters right now, adjusting as we get closer or further away from it. Also see that we are hungry and thirsty. Luckily for us, we have 2 cases of stuff right here next to us. I'm gonna go ahead and drop anything that's not important, which is essentially everything for the time being. And I'm gonna go ahead and fill, let's see, no, oxygen tank we're not gonna worry about right yet. I'm gonna go ahead and take this burger. Can we go ahead and consume them here? We can't. So I'll just do this right here. And we're full up there. But I will go ahead and take an oxygen tank with us, because we'll probably need one for the next journey, since it will be a little bit further away. In the meantime, I am trying to look through here to see if there's anything else we can use at the time. We need to make ourselves a power cell. That is something we need to do. But we need ourselves 2 more silver and a battery. So it looks like we are on our way to try to figure out if we can find some more silver. And I know for a fact that we could find ourselves some silver down over there. I am going to go ahead and scooch right over here, because this right here is actually a chest. And we got ourselves a power cell. So we're actually going to take all of that. And that's actually going to prevent us from having to find all that additional silver. And we're going to make our way to our first story objective, or our first major destination change. Right there, I believe this might be quartz. I can't remember. We can tell in a moment what it is. As you can see, we have a jetpack down in the bottom right hand, and it tells us what our propulsion is. Let's see, what is this right here? So we can go ahead and mine this if we so want, but it doesn't look like it's not giving us a health bar, so I think we should stay away from that, because we don't want to drain our battery for no reason. We do want to watch out for that, although I just got hit by it, so that was a big dummy move on my part. Luckily, we didn't take too much damage. We're going to come over to this panel right here. I am going to interact with it and basically power this door here. And because we powered that door, we're now in an oxygen-rich environment. Looks like that's a light. Cool. And we're immediately in here, and we're finding some more silver, so that's nice. We got a blueprint for a flash, a light bulb and a flashlight module. And we can come in here into this dark area. Now, this is definitely somewhere we're going to want to come back to as far as whenever we create a flashlight, because that will be nice. I'm going to go ahead and take this copper wire as well as the silver ore, and then we're going to go over here to the right and check out any other resources we can. Looks like we have a whole bunch of fabric. I'm going to go ahead and take that. I'm not going to worry about the food and the water just yet, because we just ate right before we came here. And we can go ahead and head in here to this first little hab unit where someone was at. Looks like they have some electronic parts. A key card station. I don't know what you use that key card for. In the dark, it's hard to see, but there is a little chest right here. We can go ahead and, light bulb. And we got some glass. All right. Looks like we got a couple of things. What about in this little chest? Data transformer. Do not know what that's used for, but we can go snag it. And here on the table, it looks like we have a read log for us. And then we got some blueprints. And this will allow you basically get the tools you need in order to start creating your own habitat, as well as making a laser tool. I have no idea what the laser tool does. I had never found that before. Like in my last game I had found it, but I hadn't used it. Looks like we can turn these lights on while we're in here. Weird. This is basically changing the colors. But let's go ahead and grab all the silver we can while here. This is definitely a silvery cave. It's hard to see. We could come back in here with a flashlight, but most often than not, it looks like most everything is highlighted fairly well. So I do apologize if it's kind of dark in here. We'll come back with a flashlight later. But I am coming in here while we are in here and trying to see if we can get enough silver to craft a couple items. We also have a silver ore node right there. And how much silver we have? I think we have a good bit of silver, honestly. And it looks like we have one more room over here. And it's dark as hell, but I can see a couple of chests here. Oh, iron bars. That could be interesting. I'm gonna go ahead and drink that. Is there anything I can get rid of at the moment that we might not need? We can make our own electronic parts, and we can make our own light bulb. I want these iron bars because we can create them, sure, but they're probably a little bit rarer than light bulb and electronic parts. So we're in the sense because we don't have a smelter yet. But we do have a way to create light bulbs and copper wire. So we're going to go ahead and head out here. And this is our exit out of here. And we're going to head on back to our HAP module over there. And we can start looking at the new tools we can create, as well as the additional backpack spot that we can make. And we already have our next series of objectives, which is build your first habitat, your habitat corridor, your habitat airlock, and your habitat room. So I think we're going to go ahead and do that. So the jetpack does come over time. I'm assuming as we find better and better jetpacks in the game, we'll be able to more or less just get a better jetpack overall. That'll give us more propulsion and all that jazz. So we're going to come in here and see what we can do. So I know that we need immediately to create a backpack. It looks like we were able to go ahead and create that, and we will come in here and immediately equip that, and that gave us 2 more rows of backpack slots, which is pretty gnarly. Next thing we need to do is make electronic parts and a light bulb. Light bulbs, I believe, are made from quartz. So let's see, how many quartz do we need to make that? We have just enough. And electronic parts. And then we'll come over here, and we are able to create our flashlight module. All right, so we'll come in here, and then boom, now we have a flashlight. So I believe it's T. Yep. And now we have a flashlight. Awesome. Next looks like we need to make ourselves a data transformer battery for the builder tool. Luckily, we found a data transformer, and now all is left is to make the battery. We need copper wire and some coal. So we'll come in here, and doesn't look like we have any coal. So we'll just step outside for a second and see if we can find ourselves a coal node. And like I said before, now that we have this driller tool, we can literally fly over to one of these if we cannot find any. Oh, it looks like we need the mine. Is this not the mining tool? This is the mining tool. There we go. And coal should automatically, it doesn't show like anything happening, but the coal should automatically be added to your inventory. And then we'll head back inside and make ourselves our builder tool. Oh wait, battery. Battery first. Builder tool next. There we go. Now we should be able to equip our battery, our builder tool right there. And then the last thing we can make is, it shows in a gold bar, batteries, nickel, and electronic parts. So it looks like we're going to need to find ourselves a good source of gold. So we'll go out searching for that here in a bit. Before we do any of that, I'm going to go ahead and empty my inventory, except for the things that I think I will need. I'm going to take these oxygen tanks with us because oxygen will probably be definitely more usable or necessary for where we're going next. But let's check out this builder tool. Obviously, we're going to have to go outside to use this. It looks like we can go ahead and make ourselves our hab unit. And right off the bat, it looks like we are going to need to make a smelter because iron bars and copper wire is what's used for this. Let's see. Smelter. Where are you? There's a smelter. Looks like we need 5 copper bars. So how do we create... Let's go inside. I want to see how we create this stuff. So again, advanced. There's a battery recharger station, power cell charger, recycling machine, fabricator. That's what we have right here in front of us. The upgrade station. Gold smelter. And base colorize. Makes me wonder where they imagine we're getting the iron from. Like, how do we found some iron bars. Maybe there's more iron back. Maybe there's more iron back at the thing. Well, this smelter is a device that melts down ores to extract metals or other materials. I don't know. We'll have to see. We have enough iron bars to get this, but we also need a gold, silver, and data transformer. So I think we're going to have to end up doing some exploration here before we can go any further. So go and check that out. I am going to go ahead and stop off first at the place we were just at to see if we can find ourselves some additional sources of gold or anything that I have missed. If I find anything that we did miss, I'll basically come back with you guys and let you see what we found. I actually lied, because after going through my boxes, after going back down there, I found enough stuff and decided to create some more oxygen tanks. Turns out we found exactly 8 of the iron bars. So I'm going to come out here. I think I'm going to try to create our habitat module as well. Let's go ahead and make this while we can. I don't know if this is a good place to make this or not, but I just decided to go ahead and do it. Looks like we need 4 more iron bars. So it doesn't look like right off the bat we can even get inside our habitat. That's funny. Habitat window, habitat airlock. But at least we got the habitat set aside. So we still need to find some stuff in order to get in here. But we do have the habitat built, so there's that. Alright, and now that we have basically built the habitat, I have made some extra oxygen canisters to go with us. We're going to start floating over there towards the furthest checkpoint that shows 400 meters away. So we're going to head over there, and hopefully we have enough oxygen supply with us Again, we should, since I did make a whole bunch of extra thingies, oxygen canisters. Along the way, you'll also find little boxes here. I don't think we can open those until we get access to the scanner, which is not something we can create right yet. Looks like we did find nickel. Corridor asteroid miner. Huh. So, as you're floating by, you'll find different resources and stuff like that, and it'll automatically unlock new recipes for you, as well as you can tell. And we're about 280 meters away. We're running low on oxygen, but that's a-okay, because, again, came ready with extra oxygen. We got here. Looks like we found ourselves a burger. I'm going to go ahead and use one of our oxygen tanks. Use the two small ones. And we'll try to make our way as quickly as we can all the way over here. And it is showing that there is a module right there. But I don't believe that one has an airlock of any sort. So we need to float over there rather quickly. And it's important when you're coming over here also that you bring the key card that we found that was inside of that first asteroid that we were just in. Mostly because that is going to give us access to our next destination. And I'm also seeing some gold nodes here. So that's pretty cool. So we can come in here, and there's the airlock that we want to eventually go to. But I'm going to dip in here because I think we have plenty of time. Looks like we got an oxygen station recipe. Another copper bar. And now we can float over to this airlock. And it's cool just seeing the stuff out in the distance as well. Now, from my understanding, there are also forms of transportation, and you will find those as you go. We'll come over here to this little keypad, click it, and all of a sudden we're in, and I believe we're in an oxygen-rich environment. We are safe. It looks like we don't have the key card for this, but we do have ourselves a corridor over here we could check. Nothing in this trash can. We also have the flashlight, so I can turn that on so we can see better. We got a medium storage blueprint. And now we can wander around looking for other stuff. Looks like we have access to silver. Do not know what this is. Use a laser tool in order to get that. Okay, we don't have the laser tool yet. Come over here. What exactly is that up on the roof? Can we get access to that? What is that? Whatever it is, we're able to break it. Maybe. I can't tell if this thing is still breaking or not. We might be using up all the battery in our drill right now. I don't trust that. Looks like we just... Oh, wait. That's our battery's at 61%. Man, I don't know what I was looking at. Okay, so that was a nickel node. Okay. So we got extra nickel from all that. And now we have ourselves... Well, it looks to be another hab module in here. Don't think we can have access to this yet, but we do have celestite, advanced fabricator, and a vehicle station. From that, as well as a food item of some sort. We got some water there. Some blue crystal for a tool modification in enameled glass. And looks like we found ourselves a hefty amount of ore. And I believe that's all we're going to find here for the time being. We should have enough oxygen in order to get back, seeing as how I only used 2 small tanks. And I think those only supplied like 30 oxygen, whereas the 2 big tanks in my bag offer 60 points of oxygen. Oh, that's cool. You can rotate that sign. Nice. So I think what's going to probably happen next is I need to head back to our hab module and see if we can take advanced usage of any of the tools we found. I'm going to go ahead and check in here to see if there's anything I perhaps missed before I head back. So it doesn't look like there's anything that I missed, so I'm going to head on back to our hab module. We should have enough oxygen to get us all the way there. As we get there, we'll take a look at some of those blueprints we found, see if there's anything we can build with our builder tool. That doesn't require anything outlandish that we don't have access to just yet. already made it back to base, but on my way here, I realized that I had missed this hab module that was out here on its own. So we're going to check this out to see if there's a blueprint. Also, I'm curious to know, there's a green ore sitting out in the middle of the open near our starting area. And I want to see if we can make anything of that. And so we found some fabric here. We have 2 chests here. Is there anything in here? There is not, but they are usable items, or not anything we haven't seen before. Now that I have that, I think I'm going to take the opportunity to see if we can make it down to this green ore and see if we can harvest this. I don't know what's in it. I don't know what material it is. Obviously, I can see distance signs of stuff like this around. I'm curious to know what this is. Oh, this is a toxic area. Okay, we need to move away from that. So never mind that ore. We'll come back to that later when we don't get poisoned by it. So it must be like uranium or something. Alright, and so after looking around for a while, looking through my menus, I finally figured out what it is that I was missing entirely. And that is the fact that you don't actually need a smelter of any sort in order to craft the iron and copper bar. Somehow I was looking over these 2 items a lot, but apparently all you need is 3 iron, and your fabricator will go ahead and make copper bars for, or iron bars and copper bars for you. So I went ahead and made all the necessary components, and now that I've done so, I should have enough stuff to go ahead and make ourselves a airlock for our hab module. So now that I've done that, I believe it was, if I remember correctly, it is a 4 bars electronic part and fabricator. So now that we've done that, we can go ahead and connect this to where we want to go and connect it. I believe there we go. And we should now be able to get into our own little hab module now. So that is excellent. So it's very Subnautica themed. Next thing we're going to want to do is probably find a way to power this machine up. So we're probably going to be looking for solar panels or some way to give it power, because by default it doesn't look like that does. So give me a moment to get some stuff set up, and we could probably go ahead and get this knocked out. Looks like we also need to make a habitat corridor, so that way we can connect a different habitat module to it. And it also looks like we could use some additional resources to make ourselves a vehicle station. I don't know if vehicles are in the game, but we could definitely go to try and make one and see what happens. So I'm going to collect some more iron bars, and I think I might have enough nickel. And we have the celestite, so I'm going to go ahead and try to build the corridor as well as the vehicle station to connect it. Give me a moment, I'll be right back after I've claimed those items for myself. I'm going to go ahead and harvest some resources around the base as well. So, be right back. Alright, and I'm back. So after getting all the resources necessary, I was looking at creating a base. As you can see, I have one right here. I was making the vehicle pod. That was the vehicle station right here. After I created the vehicle station, I assumed immediately that I needed to build some solar panels, which I got a recipe for as soon as I started building the corridors. I ended up running into a bit of an issue, kind of running around like a chicken with my head cut off, trying to figure out what exactly it was I was missing, because no matter how many solar panels I put on this bad boy, I ended up making another like corridor over there to put solar panels. I couldn't get enough power to my station. Well, it turns out that you have to create these battery units on this. This is a small habitat battery unit that powers this machine, or this base that I have here. And then you can create a control panel that you'll find here on the inside of my new finely lit base. And in here you can see that it shows that I have a usable power of 125 with my needed power capacity being 112. Well, the more habitat units you build on there, like the vehicle base, it basically says that you need more power capacity to go to this building, therefore more habitat batteries. But I didn't want to create another habitat battery just yet, because there were several things I wanted to still do, such as create crafting stations. I did create this upgrade station right here, and of course, a la like Subnautica themed stuff, you were able to create oxygen capsules T2, backpack T2, and the jetpack T2. Now there are certain items I still need, such as the advanced chipset, as well as in order to create stuff like, I think the other thing I wanted to create was a advanced fabricator. But we need a resin canister. But based off all the crafting stations I've been able to look at, it doesn't look like the resin canister is available through any of the normal means. So it looks like I'll have to go out and find it. I don't know if that's in the demo. I'll have to go check out myself. But I more or less just wanted to get my initial start on the habitat started and get my first final impressions on the demo as is, because I imagine there is an end of the demo, but I am going to spend some time exploring. As you can tell, you can pretty much get lost in this game, and there is a door over there that requires a key card, but I am going to have to figure out where that key card is at. But for the time being, my final thoughts on the demo so far is the game is very interesting. It is very Subnautica-esque heavy, with a little dab of Breathedge as far as like the space theme goes. I feel like there's some tutorializing that could be helped a little bit, as well as kind of some redundant features. Like, I have solar power going to my hab module. I don't know if I like the fact that you need to also have a battery kit attached to this one. This was kind of confusing to me because we have power going to it. That should be enough to supply power there. So I don't understand necessarily that, but obviously it's up to the developer's choice there. That's just my feedback, is I think it's kind of unnecessary to have something limiting your power when solar powers in and of themselves can limit your power based on how many you would have attached to your station. The building and the crafting system of it is, apart from the course, it's completely workable. I like it. It's, if you are into Subnautica and you understand Subnautica's build and crafting and stuff like that, obviously you'll get that, and especially if you play survival crafting games, you'll get it. I am excited to go exploring more. I wish that there were like a couple more identifiers for finding like key cards and stuff, maybe highlights and stuff, because while they are visible, because everything's kind of like same tonesy whenever you're walking in through like tunnels and stuff, it could probably be hard to miss like objectives that you find out in the world. And it would be nice, you know, if there was some sort of, hey, there's something over there, maybe I should go check that out, sort of thing. But other than that, I feel like this has a pretty strong start, especially for a game that's probably going to be out in early access at first. So those are my first and final impressions of the demo that is currently available. And this was, again, Astrometica. I'll have a link down in the comments if you want to check out the game for yourself. That being said, if you like the content and you want to see more footage for games like Astrometica here on the channel, make sure you're liking and subscribing. And comment down below. Leave me a comment. Let me know if you've played the demo for yourself, what you thought of it. And let me know if there's anything that I missed that maybe might help me get a better understanding of what's going on here in the game. So that being said, you guys take care, and I will catch you all in the next video. Later.